One of the best ways to build a successful business within Upland is to have a sturdy backbone that your business can operate on, even if the market goes slow or stagnant or even possibly down. The best way to build this sturdy backbone is to own properties that offer monster yields to get us UPIX every day without having to actually work for it. Hey there, John Henry here, ssftg. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time here, welcome, my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. Building a strong portfolio of properties that earns a ton of UPIX is integral for every Upland business, big or small. If you want to flourish, having a constant flow of UPIX is the best way to do it. The best way to get a constant flow of UPIX, you may ask? Owning properties for their earnings, of course. We can make it even better, though, with collection multipliers and all that fun stuff. Los Angeles is the latest and greatest thing, so let's use that as our example. The base collection rate you earn in Upland at the time of recording this is 14.7%. Collections offer multipliers on those. One that has, let's say, one that everybody has should be newbie, and that offers a 1.1x boost. Basically, that means that you take 14.7% times 1.1, which gives it basically a 10% boost, and that brings its earnings APY to 16.17% roughly after the multiplier. Los Angeles still has available properties to mint in heavy-duty collection areas. Things like, as an example, Bel Air is not fully minted out. It's only 73% minted out at the time of recording this. But, some of these heavy-duty collections, like the Pacific Palisades or Bel Air, can be incredibly expensive. Now, I know I talk a lot about Bel Air and all of that, and it is a fantastic store of value because of the collection and the exclusive multiplier and all of that, but let's take something less heavy-duty like the Pacific Palisades. The Pacific Palisades, it's a tough one to get out, has it's only 25% minted out, which means that there are still plenty of properties available to mint here, and yeah, they are expensive. At the time of recording this, the lowest minting price in the Pacific Palisades at the moment is $96,513, and just a couple days ago that was in the $80,000, so it's very quickly starting to creep up as people realize, wait a minute, there's a limited collection that we can complete for about 300,000 UPIX or less. Here's the beauty, though, because when you look at the Pacific Palisades collection, it offers a 1.52x multiplier on 3 properties. So if we figure that we've got about 300,000 UPIX in terms of properties, because each one's about 100,000 plus fees, that means that you're roughly looking at a 22.34% APY based on the boost, 1.52 times, the 14.7%. And that basically gives you 67,000 UPIX annually, and that breaks down to 1,200 UPIX a week, right? 1,288 UPIX a week just for those 3 properties. That's it. Now, let's say that somebody wanted to come in a little bit heavier and really hit the nail out of the park, or the ball out of the park, whatever acronym or saying I'm going for. Let's say you're starting with like $750, $1,000, something like that. Effectively, what we're looking to do with that is to create enough residual UPIX to continue playing without having to ever invest in the game again. Not only not having to invest in the game, but also turn a profit. 3 properties in the Pacific Palisades at a 1.52x boost, like we just talked about, is something to consider. But there are also other collections that we can also keep our eyes on, like Westwood. Westwood still has properties available to mint. It's a little bit of a larger collection at 1.71x with 3 properties. And then, of course, another one, Savoy Hills, which I think I'm pronouncing that correctly this time, at a 1.76x, and it only requires 2. Those 8 properties by themselves are still available to mint at the time of recording this, at least. The Palisades, like we already talked about, it's going to be about 300,000 UPIX to mint those and get the collection going. 3 more in Westwood's going to be about another 200,000 UPIX, and Savoy Hills is another 240,000 UPIX. Those 8 properties will be earning you 22.34%, 25.14%, and 25.87% respectively based on the collections after the boost, which equates to about 3,440 UPIX weekly doing absolutely nothing. Of course, another route would be for the heavy hitters like Bel Air. It's a lot more expensive over here, so keep that in mind. But the boost multiplier in Bel Air, if you look at the collections, is bonkers. They offer, and you got to go over here to the exclusives, it's a 1.97x boost. That's 28.96% APY, and they're still available to mint. They're all over the place, primarily because they are ludicrously expensive. If we just click on one as an example, this is going to be about $1,600 or the equivalent in UPX. Not cheap, but definitely covers the APY when we consider something like this is earning by itself 40,000 UPX a month. Of course, the investment is a little bit larger, considering that the minimum mint properties for Bel Air right now are around 500,000 UPX apiece. 3 properties in the collection means that you're about $1,500 deep, but that's also earning about 8,353 UPX weekly. Even if we cut that in half to match the cost of the other properties we were just talking about at about $750, it would put it at 4,176 compared to the previous 3,448. And that's 21% more because of the boosts if we're looking at Bel Air. The amazing thing about these is not just that they're going to earn you a ton of UPX from the collection boosts and everything else, but if we look at them just as a property in and of themselves, they're very unlikely to decrease in value as they're limited and exclusive collections. Even right now, if we were to look at the absolute lowest markup available in Bel Air, it's 107%. It's 7% above mint, and that's the lowest. Then it jumps up to 118. Nobody's going to be looking to sell these at a loss because of how much they earn, and that's the beauty of these collection properties when you're able to get them at mint, or if you're able to scoop up a deal under mint, that's even better. If we were to compare that to a slightly more developed market like Brooklyn, as an example, the Manhattan Beach in Brooklyn collection is very similar in terms of how much it earns. It's a 1.92x multiplier, but it does require 4 properties. Even requiring 4 properties, the smallest markup is 600%. So really think about that for a second. These Bel Air properties I know are incredibly expensive at 400,000 or 500,000 UPX. But when the smallest markup could possibly be 600%, all of a sudden that 500,000 UPX doesn't seem so bad. And when you add to that it's earning a ridiculous amount of APY every year, it makes it even easier to hold on to. If you'd like to join in with all of us in the Upland Metaverse, buying, collecting, and flipping virtual real estate NFTs, you can click the link in the description. It gets you into Upland with some starting UPX to get going, and if you decide to invest some cash into the game, you also get a massive 50% bonus on your first purchase because you use the link, with a maximum bonus cap of 50,000 UPX. And to make it even juicier for my ssftg family, users who registered with my referral link and bought UPX with the bonus have access to our USP list on ssftg.com/upland. My favorite kind of advantage is an unfair one. I hope this guide helps you understand how important it is to have a sturdy business backbone in Upland. With it, we have a constant flow of UPX to work with and invest. It gives us the freedom to enjoy the game and is 100% worth considering if you haven't already filled out some of those larger collections. I know the upfront costs aren't necessarily fun, but the flexibility that they offer in the long run is nuts. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or anything else, maybe topics for new videos that you'd like to see, drop them in the comments below. I always love hearing from you all. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, have fun in the metaverse. Bye.